And now on AM Extra, the bridge between houselessness and living in your own home sometimes crosses vast and complicated chasms and presents no shortage of challenges along the way.
Yeah, well, that's where Transition Projects comes in, a Portland nonprofit with more than a half a century of experience helping people get into shelter. And it can't happen without the help of a lot of dedicated volunteers. So here to talk about the organization and how you can be part of the change, we have Vice President of Development at Transition Projects, Roma Pizer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
Yeah. You too.
I love that we get to kind of focus in on some of the volunteer work, the incredible work that Transition Projects does in our community. Tell us about it for anyone who's unfamiliar.
Transition Projects is the largest provider of shelter services in the state of Oregon. We have 350 team members. We start with outreach on the streets, helping folks get to shelter or housing. And then once in shelter, we work with each individual couple and their pets to get them into permanent housing. And we've been doing it for 56 years.
And again, volunteers are just at the core of what you do. Could you do what Transitions Projects is all about without the help of volunteers, or are you dependent on them?
We are absolutely dependent on our volunteers. Volunteers started the organization in Old Town, and today we have hundreds of volunteers that come in and do a myriad of things. So we have 40% of our meals in our shelters covered by volunteers, families, groups, organizations like the Standard, Columbia Sportswear, Sunday schools come in every month, Oregon Chinese Coalition, you name it, we've got groups coming in. You need 3 or more people to help, and folks go out, they plan a meal, they buy the food, they come in and cook, and we do the dishes. And so they serve in our shelters. We have 8, and they're across the metro area. You can do it one time, you can do it quarterly, you can come in once a month. We have folks like Oregon Chinese Coalition, they come in, they were coming once a month. I think they come in 4 times a month now and bring their youth who come in and make the meal and serve it. So
great.
There's lots of ways, and it's not just meals. There are other things that you can do. We get a lot of donations, so you can help sort, so we can get those out to our outreach team. So they're handing out coats during the winter to our shelters. If somebody doesn't have pants or they need blankets, pillows, things like that, hygiene items. There's a lot of sorting that's involved to get that out. We also have volunteers that are so talented and they bring their talent to us. So some folks want to help with resume writing, building, interviewing skills. Some folks want to teach Tai Chi. So it kind of art classes, knitting, poetry writing, kind of runs the gamut.
So this really, it's every step of the way in this process for somebody who's trying to make this change in their life.
So many ways to get involved too. I think about the fact that, you know, homelessness is something that every single person who lives in this community sees, whether they have experienced it first or second hand or not. But, you know, we see it in our community. To then take that step and volunteer and say, I want to give of my time to help in this problem. What do you think that does, both for the communities you serve and for the people who are coming to volunteer?
I think what says it all is when we take photos of our volunteers, the smiles are so deep and incredible and heartfelt. A lot of folks say, I was a little nervous coming in and cooking, you know, but when I left, I couldn't believe how good it felt to me. I got to meet some of your participants. You know, oftentimes people don't know what a shelter looks like. They don't know who's in a shelter. So it's sort of, it goes both ways. And then our participants, we have 700 people under our roofs on any given night. So they're also seeing some normalcy of groups, families, companies coming together. They're having conversations back and forth. If you create a meal and you cook it, you can go and sit down at a table with our participants and have that meal, have conversation. So it's a win-win for everyone. And a lot of times after the first time, we get a call the next day that says, I loved it, and I'm coming back. When's the next date I can come and do a meal?
I think it's a good point. You know, I mean, I know Emily and I, we volunteer at different organizations, and there is a sense of your own fulfillment that comes with that. I mean,
it is
don't hide from
self-serving
that.
in some ways.
Yes, it can be, but don't run away from that. You know, if you feel good helping somebody, lean into that. I think it makes a ton of sense.
You mentioned your partners at the Standard. You know, we're so thrilled to be working with them this year for the Standard Volunteer Expo. Great opportunity for folks to come and actually get more information about what volunteering would look like.
I I've participated for 17 years with the Standard Volunteer Expo. As you said, volunteering is so important to so many organizations, and we love meeting community members and talking to them about what we do and how they can get involved. And oftentimes, they do know us, but sometimes they've never heard of us, which I think every nonprofit says.
Sure.
And so we want to be able to tell our story and let people know the work we're doing, but also the small things or big things that they can do. We always say we need underwear. Can you do an underwear drive? Or men's pants?
Sure.
Or hygiene items. Though, it can be little things.
Big or small.
Big
it helps.
or small. It all adds up. And, a six-pack of socks, of course, makes a difference to somebody who needs clean, fresh socks after they take a shower at our resource center.
Yeah.
So all those things are really important, and it does make a difference. I think a lot of people think there's so much that needs to be done. My one step isn't going to make a difference.
Right, but it
it
does.
actually does, because it all adds up.
Roma, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I'm glad we
you.
could talk about it.
Thank you so much.
And hey, speaking of the Standard Volunteer Expo, if you want to learn more, you can connect with Transition Projects and more than 100 local nonprofits at this year's Expo. Coin 6 and Portland CW are proud media partners of the 17th annual event. Mark your calendars for Thursday, September 4th. It's happening at Pioneer Courthouse Square. You can learn more about the many amazing nonprofit volunteer opportunities in our community. You can also learn more right now at coin.com/volunteer.